Welcome to the first episode of Kiss Corporate Goodbye. In this first episode, we're going to share a little bit about our journeys and our story. I'm Shari.
And I'm Kim, and we hope to just give you a glimpse into what it might look like for you to kiss corporate goodbye too.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shari.
And I'm Kim.
We're sisters.
She's the older one.
She's the younger one.
So we are super excited to do our first ever podcast. And to be honest, we don't totally know what we're doing, but we're going to do it anyway because we really want to share our vision. We want to create a movement. We want a place for you to be able to kiss corporate goodbye, ditch the 9-to-5, and we're going to share with you how we did it and how you can too.
And in the process of doing that, we really want to help you overcome some fears that you may have. And I will tell you right now, I am very fearful of doing this podcast. It's so out of my comfort zone. But being part of a community and having Kim here to push me, we are going to do this anyway. And so if you have ever been held back by fear, here's your chance to be part of a community that will uplift you and support you in midst of all of your fear. And I will just say, fear, it's just imagining an outcome, but it's imagining that outcome is negative. And when you have faith is imagining an outcome as well, but it's a positive outcome. So I encourage you, don't be paralyzed by fear. Let faith propel you and let us help you, guide you throughout this process.
So we're going to have faith that you're going to stick with us and trust the process and grow with us as we keep doing this and providing you some great information and inspiration. We have amazing guests lined up who have all kissed corporate goodbye, and they're going to be sharing with you what they did and how they did it. So if you are at a job where you hate right now, or you may be in the midst of looking for something, we want to encourage you to take that leap of faith, stick with us. We're going to be sharing all kinds of, ways to kiss corporate goodbye, starting with, what we think is the best pathway. And it might be something that you have never thought of, or you've thought of and then decided, oh no, that's not for me. Because we're going to be talking a lot about how network marketing can really be that surprising pathway to help you have that total freedom. And that's really what we're after. And I will tell you, this is not the path that I thought I was going to take. And I'm sure it might not be the path you have been thinking about, but we promise if you stick with us, we're going to share with you why this industry is the industry to be in if you really want to get rid of those golden handcuffs.
And so in addition to sharing other people's stories, we thought we would definitely start by sharing our story so you can get to know us and join us in this movement that we've created. So I'm going to start by sharing my story. Both of us grew up in a great family. Our parents always told us we could do whatever we want. So we grew up knowing that we could be and do whatever we wanted. Never in a million years did we have dreams as little girls of going into network marketing and that would be our profession.
But we did grow up, like, education was super important. Go to college. And we did kind of think that it was going to be the traditional 9-to-5 route, and we were going to climb the corporate ladder and we could do anything and be successful. And even though our parents ended up being entrepreneurs, it wasn't that we grew up going, find a business, build a business. And so it kind of came later in life for us both.
Exactly. And now we are huge proponents of entrepreneurship in whatever form. But as Kim said, we found our success in network marketing. So that's what we want to share with you. So after years and years in corporate America and climbing the corporate ladder, I had fun and I had success, but the view at the top wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, especially after I started my family.
And for me, I actually did something that I loved. I went to school and my background was in radio, television, and journalism. And I was in that field for a long time. And I did love it. until I didn't. I all of a sudden got, tired of being tired of working really long hours, tired of having somebody else really dictate my schedule. But I had no idea what I wanted to do next. And I had no idea how my skills would even transfer. And, I have to give Shari a lot of credit. She had this vision and she saw network marketing as a really viable business to have that total freedom. I wanted nothing to do with it. And I didn't think it was at all a way to earn a significant income. And so I said no to her for a very long time.
It seemed like an eternity. It was only 7 weeks, but it seemed like a long time. And, for me, I understood the business right away. I went to school, I graduated with a degree in marketing, and I sure wish that somewhere along the line I would have been taught about network marketing because it's such a brilliant business model. At least that's how we feel about it. And, as I said, my background is marketing. So all of my jobs that followed graduating were in sales and marketing. And I had, the great opportunity to work for several different Fortune 500 companies. And as I said, climb the corporate ladder and get the benefits and all the perks. But it just wasn't as fulfilling as I had hoped.
And, if you are somebody right now who feels like you're kind of trapped in corporate America, we totally get you. And I will tell you, I was really skeptical. In fact, Shari had done 2 other network marketing companies before. And I was like, yeah, you're working way too hard, not making any money. And so I was like a hard no. And finally, Shari, she had a breakdown. She was asking me every single day to do this business. And I was like, I'm not doing one of those things. Nobody makes any money. I don't want to be one of those people. And finally, she had this breakdown and she started crying. And she's not a crier. And so I'm like, what is your problem? And really, she said, I don't understand why you're not doing this business. And I was like, well, it's not for me. And she's like, you just have to learn more. And she's, really was saying, if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to be stuck. And the thing that was truthful is like, I was working tons of hours. I was coming home and I wasn't living my best life. I was tired and I just wasn't like fulfilled at all. And so,
and to top that off, the thing that finally got Kim was she really wanted to have a successful relationship and get married. And she was working so hard and traveling so much, she didn't have time to date anyone or find her soulmate. And so, after trying everything, I finally pulled the card. Well, how are you ever going to find somebody if you keep doing what you're doing? And, we had always talked about doing something together because we love hanging out together. And I couldn't understand why she wasn't listening to me. So yes, I did break down and cry and begged. Not always the best way to get somebody to do something you want, but in my case, it worked.
Well, and I will tell you, it barely worked because I called my best friend and I said, you have to come with me. Shari's going to try to talk us into something and I need you there as backup. And so we went out for coffee and I actually went with a little tiny bit of an open mind and I learned more about the business model and I learned about, what building an asset looks like, how to have a legacy, what having another stream of income would look like. And, depending on when you're watching this, we're in the middle of the coronavirus. Lots of us are staying at home. Many of us are having to pivot in our job. And now more than ever, you want to have some kind of business that you can have an online component and you want to have a business where you can have reoccurring income and have an extra asset. And truly, we don't know a better way to be able to have an online business, to be able to earn income even when you're not working, to be able to build an asset. And if you would have asked me 15 years ago, because we've both been in this business 15 years, it would have never crossed my mind, not in a million years. And even when I started just thinking, okay, I'll see how it goes. But I really never thought that I could earn a six-figure income, let alone do it part-time. And our hope for you as you're following us and our journey and learning more, that you're really come with us with an open mind. And it is okay if you don't believe in the industry, if you have your doubts. Shari's probably one of the only people who really saw it at the beginning.
And the reason why I saw it at the beginning was because I was so desperate to get out of corporate America. And I saw this as hope. And, it's kind of cliche, but Kim and I seriously consider ourselves hope dealers because we have an opportunity that we can share with people who may be at the end of their rope. And, I can totally relate because that's where I was. I was at the end of my rope. I had a great job. And it was all fun and games. And I mean, it was literally fun and games. I worked for a very large beer company and there was a lot of entertaining. So I did get to go to a lot of games and concerts and do a lot of fun things. However, when I started a family, those fun and games just weren't priorities. My priorities just totally shifted. And what used to be fun became a chore. And, just to give you a little bit of background, as I said, I loved my job. I was able to climb the corporate ladder, but I worked for a very male dominated company. No offense to men out there, but I came to find out that I was paid just a fraction of what all of my male counterparts were paid for doing more work. I had larger accounts and had more responsibilities. And so, oftentimes when you're in that corporate environment, you just don't have choices. And that's what really stuck with me is the fact that I was not in control of my net worth or my salary or any of that. I could work as hard as I could, but somebody else determined what I was worth.
And one of the things, if you are somebody that is sitting at home listening or driving to work listening, and you are having that I quit my job fantasy, I want to tell you, I had that every day, toward the end of my corporate career. I just wanted to quit my job, but I was single at the time. I didn't have a plan B. I didn't have a backup plan. And so I needed the income, as so many of us do. And I did have this, I had all kinds of things that I was thinking about to quit my job. And when I finally was able to match my full-time income in about 7 months, working part-time in the network marketing profession, I went into my boss to quit. And here is like one of the best things, because I was finally in that position where I had choices. And truly, that is what we want for everyone, just to have choices. And I went in, I quit. My boss was shocked. He was like, well, what will you do to stay? And really, off like the top of my head, I was like, well, I'll work 2 days a week. I want my same commission. I want equity in the company. I want health insurance. I want my team to be able to work like remotely. Like, I threw out everything that would have been like my dream job. And he said, okay. And he went for it. And I was like, oh my God, I have to still work for like 2 days a week. And so I did that for a while. And then something really shifted. And what it was the people that I was surrounding myself with. I would go into my day job and I'd be there. People would be there from 8:01 to 5:01. And nobody was excited and fulfilled. And nobody had vision or were dreaming bigger. And it just wasn't like an uplifting community, and it wasn't fun to go into work. And what happened was, in my side hustle, everyone was excited and positive and encouraging. And then I'd go to my day job and people were just bleh. And so it really hit me hard, like how important it is to surround yourself with amazing people who believe in you, who have vision, who want to do more and be more and give more. And that was what I wanted to be a part of. So after another 8 months working part-time, I ended up leaving that corporate job for good. And I have never looked back.
And, when Kim talks about an uplifting community, that was the furthest thing from what I experienced in my corporate life. And we're not here to just share war stories, but we're certainly here to commiserate with you if you have war stories, because I have plenty of them. But as far as community, I was always watching my back, and people were always after my job. and it just starts to take a toll on you mentally and physically. And I will tell you, toward the end of my corporate career, I ended up in the hospital with double pneumonia. So, I mean, it truly did take a toll on my health. And come to find out that as I was in the hospital, people were actually interviewing for my job. So that is not the type of community that I would say is uplifting. And I love making the analogy that so often in corporate America, people are there to stab you in the back. In network marketing, it's completely reversed. People have your back because truly the only way that you can be successful in network marketing is if you help a lot of other people become successful too. And that really resonated with me. I mean, my core values, I love to help people. And I was so out of alignment in my corporate job because, again, I worked for a big beer company owned by a tobacco company. And quite honestly, I knew I wasn't doing anything to help people. In fact, I was pretty sure that I was probably hurting people as they purchased the product. So again, whatever it is that you're doing, I highly encourage you to be in touch with what's important to you and know what your core values are, and then pursue those in whatever you endeavor to do.
Yep. And so in the next couple weeks, and as we continue to grow our podcast, our goal is to truly give you some hope, some encouragement, some insight, some tips, some tools, so that you can take that leap of faith and start to build for your future. We're going to kind of shatter some of the myths you may have about the network marketing industry and why now. There is no better time to be building this kind of business. There is, we're going to go into detail, and I promise you it is not what you think. And it's not really for everyone. But if you stick with us and stick with this community and share this with your friends and anyone that you know who is having that I quit my job fantasy, or just is in transition, and especially like we said, in this time, there are so many people that need to find a new career or to pivot. And we want to help as many people as we can. And we can do that with your help. And so we want you to stay tuned. And like we said, we have some amazing people that are going to share their story and hopefully give you some hope and some insight. And you're going to find that this might just be the surprising pathway that you need to really take that leap of faith.
And our goal is just to empower you to have more choices and to feel that confidence and that faith as you proceed on your journey.
And so we hope that you are on that path to kiss corporate goodbye. They're going to stick with us as we share with you so many inspiring stories, and hopefully one of them will soon be yours.